Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. This is your host Ram, once again welcoming you, albeit a bit late, I would say, on this Cricket Happenings show. This on a Tuesday, and today, the World Cup proper has not started, but yes, the qualifying rounds of the T20 World Cup kicked off today, and in the first match, it was the match started the T20 World Cup, I would say, started in India with the first match, which was played between Hong Kong and Zimbabwe today. And definitely we'll say that as per expectations, it was Zimbabwe who actually won the match by 14 runs. But let me tell you, Hong Kong definitely showed a lot of determination in trying to chase down the total, and they were still within, I wouldn't say striking distance, but they were within close reach of the total of Zimbabwe. So you could, if you see the margin of victory that separated the Hong Kong from victory was just 14 runs. So that really tells you that in fact Hong Kong really played out of their skins after Zimbabwe reached 158 for 8 of the 20 overs. So that is one match which happened, and the second match that happened was in the first round was Afghanistan versus Scotland. And as I was telling you in my previews today, Afghanistan already have the wood over Scotland. They have won 5 T20 matches in the past, and today they added their sixth one to their tally. Again, that was also a match which could be termed as close because the margin was only 14 runs. Scotland definitely, in fact, Afghanistan putting up a very good score of 170 on the board, led by Mohammad Shahzad's opening burst by Mohammad Shahzad, the very in-form opener from Afghanistan, and 170 for 5. But I thought Scotland were doing very well at one stage with the openers Muncy and Coetzer putting on 84 runs in just 9 overs, 8.5 overs to be precise. So they were really going at a very good clip. And after that, the Afghanistan spinners ran a web around the Scotland batsmen by making them commit mistakes, and then finally it was Afghanistan once again prevailing over Scotland by 14 runs. So today the margin was 14 runs for both the teams. So that is one. And tomorrow the matches that are coming up are between Bangladesh versus Netherlands, and then they have Ireland taking on Oman. Oman playing for the first time. So it's a very significant a day for Oman tomorrow when they take on Ireland. Well, I'll be definitely looking at it, and also let's not forget in this by looking at only the T20 World Cup that there is a very key match which is coming in tomorrow at Cape Town in South Africa, where Australia and South Africa are locking horns at 1-1. Whichever team wins at Cape Town would be the winners of the T20 tournament. The T20 series. Well, so I would see like what time I have, and accordingly I'll be talking. So first I'm going to take you down to the first match which happened between Hong Kong versus Zimbabwe. So I'm not going to go into any details. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just run through that. So it was the first match of the T20 World Cup. This was the qualifying rounds of the T20 World Cup, and Hong Kong were the ones who actually won the toss, and they decided to put Zimbabwe in. And for Hong Kong, there was a very significant moment today as Ryan Campbell, who once used to play for Australia, became the oldest player to be making his T20 debut. I think he was, if I'm not wrong, he's almost aged just above 40, I suppose. So he became the oldest player to be actually blooded in a T20 international in history. So Ryan Campbell got into the Hong Kong team on a real record, one could say. So it all started with Zimbabwe getting a very good start. In fact, Vusi Subanda, the opener, as I said, Hamilton Masakaza, the captain, and Vusi Subanda got onto a wonderful. I mean, they added only 20 runs, but if you look at it, it was initially when this partnership was going on. All the 20 runs were actually scored by the openers, and that was Hamilton Masakaza alone hitting a lot of boundaries of the Hasib Amjad in particular. as Hamilton Masakadza collected 20 runs, but he was the first victim as he was run out by Babar Hayat for 20 of 13 balls with 3 fours and 1 6. Vusi Sibanda definitely was the highest scorer, and what a knock from Vusi Sibanda. I have a feeling, he was the man of the match. And what an innings from Vusi Sibanda. I mean, as I said, Vusi Sibanda is one person. If he really gets into the groove, it's very difficult to stop him. And we saw Jan Furl some very good pull shots, and he's very strong on the pull shot, as we know, which helped him hit fours and sixes. And he picked up, he made 59 of just 46 deliveries with 5 fours and 2 sixes. And Zimbabwe were doing pretty well at that stage. But the problem for Zimbabwe was that Mutumbami was dismissed for a duck. Sean Williams was bowled by the captain Tanveer Afzal, the Hong Kong captain, for 12 of 6 balls, 2 fours, and Sikandar Raza was run out for 3. And that really put a sort of just stalled the progress of the Zimbabweans, one could say, as they were 62 for 4 when Raza departed. And then Waller contributed 26 runs of 29 balls with 1 4. But then the final impetus to the innings for Zimbabwe to reach 150, more than 150 runs, was provided by the old captain of the Zimbabwean team, Elton Chigumbura, who clubbed 3 sixes in an unbeaten knock of 30 of just 13 deliveries, and that took Zimbabwe to a total of 158 for 8 of their 20 overs. Tripana was out for a duck, Masakadza for 2, that is Weddington Masakadza, the brother of Hamilton Masakadza. So 158 for 8 was still considered a very good total by Zimbabwe on this particular pitch, which was played at the Vidarbha Cricket Association Stadium in Nagpur. Tanveer Afzal, I thought the Hong Kong captain bowled a decent line and picked up 2 wickets for 19. Hasib Amjad was very, very costly. He was carted for 41 runs, and especially it was Hamilton Masakadza first and then Vusi Sibanda taking Hasib Amjad apart. Nadeem Ahmed 4 overs 1 for 26 bowled well. Ryan Campbell on his debut bowled 4 overs for 26 runs. Isis Khan 4 overs 2 for 33. Anshuman Rath bowled 1 over for 12 runs. Now it was the turn for Hong Kong to chase a target of 158, and they had to get at a clip of 7.90 runs per over. Well, the start was not so good. In fact, the Hong Kong, barring James Atkinson, who was actually opening the innings, the start was not good. Ryan Campbell on his debut disappointed. He was out for just 9 of 19 balls with 1 4, a victim of Trapano. Babar had the most consistent batsman in the Hong Kong lineup, was dismissed cheaply for 9 by Wellington Masakadza, 9 of 12 balls. And then Chapman also returned to the pavilion for just 90 after making just 19 runs of 17 balls with 2 fours and 1 6. Anshuman Rath making 13 of 8 balls with 2 fours. But then finally it was left to Atkinson and Tanveer Afzal to forge together a partnership, and Atkinson was very, very impressive with this batting. He really played very well, and he was the highest scorer with 53 of 44 balls, 4 fours and 2 sixes. In fact, Hong Kong were losing a lot of wickets, but the man who was staying there at the crease was James Atkinson, keeping the hopes alive, and he was doing it in a proper way. In fact, as I said, he collected the highest score of 53, and it was also his first T20 50 in his entire career, which was very good to see. 53 of 44 balls, 4 fours and 2 6, but a very impressive knock from Atkinson. Tanveer Afzal, the captain, was there trying to keep the hopes alive for the Hong Kong fans. He tried his best, but again the task became too onerous for them, as they needed almost 30 runs of last 12 balls, and well, they could collect only 16 runs of the last 2 overs, as the match ended with Zimbabwe winning the first match of the qualifying rounds, by 14 runs. Tanveer Afzal had to remain not out on 31 of 17 deliveries, 3 fours and 1 6. Nizakat Khan was out for naught. Isis Khan not out naught. And as far as the bowling was concerned, for the Zimbabweans, Panayangra 4 overs 2 for 27. I was very, very happy to see Tinasha Panayangra bowled there. Tripano bowled very well, I thought, 4 overs 2 for 27. Chatara also bowled well. So I thought the pace bowlers from the Zimbabwean camp are doing a pretty good job. 4 overs 228, 1 for 30 for Wellington Masakadza, 2 overs for 14 for Sean Williams, and Sikandar Azam 2 overs, none for 10. And Vusi Sibanda for his very good, well-made innings that he played, took away the man of the match. So that is as far as the Zimbabwe versus the Hong Kong team, Hong Kong was concerned. And now let's go on to the second match in the first round, in the qualifying rounds. It was in Afghanistan and Scotland, and all eyes were on Afghanistan. As one knew that Afghanistan definitely had the wood over Scotland. So Afghanistan batted first, and what a knock from Mohammad Shahzad. As I told you, he has been the form man for Afghanistan, no doubt about it. And this opener really smashed 61 of just 39 deliveries with a lot of shots which he played, pull shots, hitting down the ground, driving down the ground. And Mohammad Shahzad was really into his old self as he reeled off 61 of just 39 deliveries with 5 fours and 3 sixes. Nur Ali Zadran was out for 17 of 12 balls, 2 fours and 1 6. He also decided to go after the Scottish bowling by clubbing 17 of just 12 deliveries with 2 fours and 1 6. A very impressive 17 runs. Asghar Stanza, yesterday I was telling you, the Afghanistan captain has not been in the best of form once after taking the captaincy. But for a change, as I said, I said in my preview yesterday that I hope Asghar Staniz's luck changes, and yes, it definitely changed. He played a very useful innings. At the one end, Mohammad Shahzad was smashing it all across the park, and at one end we saw Asghar Stanizai, cool, a very, very composed player, took his time and compiled a neat 55. But in the meantime, Mohammad Shahzad, he did his job, and that was to bash the Scottish bowling to all parts of the field by making 61 of just 39 deliveries, 5 fours and 3 sixes. Asghar Stanizai, as I said, he was there to nurture the innings along, and I think this will do a lot of confidence to his batting there, as the Afghanistan captain finished on an unbeaten 55 of just 50 deliveries, 2 fours and 1 6, and Afghanistan ending up with a total of 170 for 5 the 20 overs. Gulbuddin Naib contributed 12 of 11 balls with 1 4. Mohammad Nabi was run out for 1. Shafiqullah was run out for 14 of just 5 balls. He cracked 3 fours in that knock of 14. Dawlat Zadran was not on 3. 170 for 5. It was a good total, I thought, by the Afghanistan standards. 170 for 5 20 overs. And as I always told you, that the Scottish bowling definitely does not look like having a real spark in it, and that was precisely the case. Watt 4 overs 1 for 30. Davy was smashed for 44 of his 4 overs with 1 wicket. Alistair Evans 4 overs, no maiden 1 for 24. Safyan Sharif 4 overs cost him 29. Bedington bowled 2 overs, went for 20, and Matt Machan wheeled his arm off for 2 overs, which got hit for 22 runs. So now 171 was the target which was placed for Scotland to go and win the match. And for Scotland, in the quest of actually chasing 170 runs set by Afghanistan, I thought Scotland got off to a beautiful start with both the openers really going after the bowlers and hitting them, the pace bowlers, and also one thing that one important point that I would like to say here, probably the Afghanistan think tank, after looking at the wicket, they decided to not go with a 3-prong pace attack of Shapur Zadran, Hamid Hassan and Dawlat Zadran. In fact, they preferred only Dawlat Zadran, and they dropped Hamid Hassan and Shapur Zadran from the team, and they actually loaded the team with spinners, and finally it was the spinners who really had a real say in the Scotland innings. And the Scotland innings, let me tell you, when it started, it was real real sparkling stuff coming in from both the openers, especially Kyle Coetzer. He contributed 40 of just 27 balls with 4 fours and 1 6. Played some very good shots, Kyle Coetzer. And the other end, Munshi was the other opener. He in fact was dealing in only boundaries. It was a sparkling innings from H. Munshi, who made 41. And as I said, the opening was pretty good for Scotland. as they had already added 84 runs for the first wicket in 9 overs. So they were basically, the run rate that was required was only 8.5. But what was good about this, what was good about it was they were well above the run rate, and that was pretty good going by Scottish standards. And then finally, and when this partnership was really doing so well, and the pace bowlers could not make any impression on this, and we saw this pitch was slow and it was also helping the spinners. And once the spinners came in, the breakthrough was provided by Samila Shenwari, who took Kyle Coetzer's wicket for 40 of 27 balls with 4 fours and 1 6. And then the other opener was scalped by Rashid Khan, the leggy, who had him LBW for 41 of 29 balls with 9 fours, Munsi. And after that, we saw Callum McLeod run out for 2, and then we saw the wickets of Berrington. As I said, once the spinners came in, after the pace bowlers left the scene, the whole game got transformed, because what happened was the spinners started bowling in such a manner, they started throttling the Scottish batting, and it was very difficult for them to get out of it, because as I said, after Hemant Munshi and Kyle Coetzer really blasted 84, these innings really couldn't really gather any momentum, barring Matt Machan, who was still there in the end, but little that he could do by contributing 36 of 31 balls with 1 6. Berrington was out for 8. The Preston Normson, the captain, was left not out on 17, and Cross was not out on 2, and that was it. Afghanistan registering a victory here by 14 runs, and Afghanistan continuing their ascendancy over Scotland in T20s. So that was it. So as I said, everything was provided by the openers, but then the Afghanistan spinners came into their own and saw to it that their team would go away to victory. As far as the bowling was concerned, Hamza 4 overs none for 24, Dawlat Zadran 4 overs went for 37, Gulbuddin Naib bowled 1 over, he was hit for 18 runs, Mohammad Nabi 4 overs 1 for 27, Rashid Khan was impressive, 4 overs no maiden 228, and Samila Shenwari threw 3 overs no maiden 1 for 21, and Mohammad Shahzad of Afghanistan took the man of the match award. What an innings for Mohammad Shahzad. He blasted, really blasted the Scottish bowling. Now that is as far as these two matches are concerned. So tomorrow the match which is coming up is between, the next match which is coming up going to be played between Bangladesh versus Netherlands. Now Bangladesh, let me tell you one thing, that Netherlands can't be taken lightly, because it was the Netherlands team which actually sent Bangladesh packing. As you would remember, that Netherlands could be a real surprise packet, because as you know, Netherlands are someone, last time if you remember, Netherlands actually qualified for the main draw of the World T20, but surprising everybody when they chased Ireland's 190 runs in just 14.2 overs, and so one can't take Netherlands lightly for sure. And Bangladesh, let me tell you that they are, I mean, and you know, Netherlands also would remember, Bangladesh would like to forget it, but Netherlands would like to remember one thing, that the first big win that they had in T20 cricket was against Bangladesh in the, I think it was in the 2014 World Cup. I think that Bangladesh suffered a defeat at the hands of Netherlands, so that would be something would be fresh in their minds. But Netherlands would definitely have that fresh in their minds when they take on Bangladesh tomorrow. So there will be a sort of a psychological challenge for Bangladesh. But Bangladesh, one thing I can tell you, that they are a very well knitted team now. And as you know, even big teams find it difficult with Bangladesh, because Bangladesh are a very much improved team if you really compare it to 2014, because they have a nice blend of batting. They have very good batsmen like Tamim Iqbal, Soumya Sarkar, Sabbir Rahman. They have very good blend. They have some experience in the form of Mushfiqur Rahim, Shakib Al Hasan and Tamim Iqbal, Nasir Hussain, Mashraf Murtaza as the captain. Mahmood has become a good finisher for them, and one hopes that Mustafizur Rahman plays tomorrow. That would be the key. And Bangladesh, I think, would provide quite a challenge to Netherlands. I mean, I'm sure Bangladesh are definitely the favorites tomorrow against Netherlands. But Netherlands, one thing I can tell you, that they pack a lot of talent in their lineup. In fact, Stephen Myberg, let me tell you, he's a good basher of the ball, and one would remember Stephen Myberg when they qualified for the main draw. Stephen Myberg was the one who made it happen by really thrashing the ball to all parts of the field, and he was the one who was going like a train. And then he was supported well by Wesley Baresi, another very consistent player. Ben Cooper and the Cooper brothers are also pretty impressive. Ben Cooper and Tom Cooper. So definitely the batting looks pretty strong according to me as far as Netherlands are concerned. Realov van der Merwe, and then they have Tim van der Gupten, and then the bowling Hassan Malik, Logan Van Beek, Peter Boren is the captain. He also bats well, and Mudassar Bukhari, their prime strike bowler. So definitely one could say that this Bangladesh versus Netherlands clash is going to be an interesting one. There will be a psychological pressure for Bangladesh for sure, because Netherlands scalped them, but as I said, Bangladesh are a much improved outfit right now. They are very well knit in all the departments, and probably Bangladesh have to, one thing that they have to guard against is they have to field well, if at all they need to really have this victory over Netherlands. And Netherlands, well, one can't be discounted, because Netherlands also has a lot of talent in their lineup. There's no doubt about it. But I think all in all, we are looking out for a very interesting tussle coming up tomorrow between Bangladesh versus Netherlands. The next match is for Oman. As I said, it's a very significant day for them. They are going to be playing their first match, international match, and in the first time they are actually coming into the T20 World Cup. And they have really worked hard for it. They have some very good talent. There's no doubt about it. They have worked hard and they have come to this particular stage. So definitely they have lots of talent. Jisan Maqsood is a very, very good bat. Jatinder Singh, Akib Suleri, Adnan Alias, Amir Khalim is also a good, very impressive player. Sultan Ahmed is the captain and the wicketkeeper of the team of Oman. Mehran Khan, Amir Ali, Sufyan Mahmood, Munis Ansari, Bilal Khan. So a lot of new people, but definitely they are unknowns in the tournament, no doubt about it. But they are definitely capable of springing surprises. And also, one thing that the team has to guard is that Oman does a lot of mankading. Now, mankading is somewhere where the non-striker actually leaves the field, before the bowler could complete his action. If the non-striker goes, then the Oman fielders, the Oman bowlers are very sharp. They feel it is a very justified thing, and that is what Sultan Ahmed had said, that if mankading is so wrong, why is it in the rules of the game? I think he's absolutely right. If the batsman is violating the spirit of cricket, why not, if you are able to run out somebody, mankading somebody, that's what they say, why not do it? I think I will agree with him, because yes, you have to play it in the right spirit, absolutely. That is what cricket is all about, and what he says makes a lot of sense. Why not take advantage? If someone is going to leave the crease before the bowler completes the action, at the non-strikers, why not make him run out? So Oman is someone who are very sharp at that, I'm told. Ireland, well, Ireland definitely, we know that they are favourites, no doubt about it. And for Ireland, they have a very good composition, no doubt about it. William Porterfield is the captain, and also, as you would remember, it's John Bracewell who is the coach of the team, and he has already hinted that he feels that what Ireland lacks is a sort of an aggression, and he has said that in this T20 World Cup he would like his boys to be very, very aggressive, and why not? They do have all the wherewithal to go aggressive. William Porterfield is a wonderful player. He opens the innings and he really likes to stroke the ball pretty quickly. Paul Sterling, always a very, very good talent. And these are all players from Ireland who are actually playing in the English county main teams and also in the leagues. Andrew Pointer, another good batsman. The O'Brien brothers, Kevin O'Brien and Niall O'Brien. Kevin O'Brien, he holds the record for the fastest century in one-day internationals. In World Cup, in 50 overs World Cup, as you remember. So Kevin O'Brien and Niall O'Brien definitely getting older, one could say. Gary Wilson, the wicketkeeper, and then the bowling. Bowling is very sharp. So Ireland definitely very well stocked, I thought, in the batting and bowling department. The batting is pretty strong. The bowling is also, I think, they're at full strength. As you know, we didn't see Tim Muttag or Boyd Rankin, and Boyd Rankin is back. As you know, he has once again he left Ireland, went to England, and then played two Test matches, and now he has again come back to Ireland. So Boyd Rankin is one to watch for because he has height and he can generate a lot of bounce. And then Max Sorensen, and then Tim Muttag, who didn't play in the World Cup, 50 overs World Cup. It will be interesting. I think the bowling is looking pretty sharp for Ireland here. And then the spinners they have Andy McBride and George Doctors. They have variety in the spin too with off spin and left arm spinner. George Doctor is a very very talented bowler, and he has been into Ireland cricket for quite a while. And I'm sure his experience is something which would play a great role. And just before I conclude this cricket show of mine, on a small note, I would say there's also a very, even though it is not from the World Cup, I thought there's a very important match coming up tomorrow. It's between South Africa and Australia, and as you know, both teams are playing at 1-1, and whichever team wins it wins the T20 series in Cape Town. So that is also one thing which we are looking forward to. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I'll be back with all those match reports and cricket summaries, what do we call them, tomorrow, of the qualifying rounds